It is exactly 15:36. Welcome to Business Today, right here on Live Radio 97.3 FM. I am more than glad to have you on board. Getting into an interesting conversation for today, speaking to where we are coming from. January, yes, the worries have been in perspective, but of course, surviving from it, and of course, getting into a new month, it being the second day of us, being in the month of February. It is important that we speak to the culture of saving. But of course, how can you save amid the high cost of living? Speaking to the issues of fuel being high amongst the commodities, also rising inflation, not doing as well in as much as it is within the levels that we can surely attest and believe that things will reduce some, but of course it is not speaking directly to that end. Hence the more reason of us today not only focusing the conversation on how best we can be financially disciplined, but how we can inculcate the values in the end of saving within this particular time. Allow me to welcome the guest I have in the studio. His name is Mr. Shadrack Lusambo, who is a chartered accountant, and he is also a financial analyst in to surely update us with regards to how best we can be financially disciplined in the end of saving money amid economic challenges. Good afternoon, Mr. Lusambo. Welcome to Live Radio.
Good afternoon. Thank you. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. Happy New Year.
Thank you so very much. I'm happy to be here. I'm very grateful for the invitation, and I look forward to the discussion. Thank you so much.
Awesome. With that said, let's start our conversation, obviously, by me getting your first reaction towards the concerns raised right, left, as well as center from different people with regards to January and the issues it brings onto us, most especially the dry spells on our pockets. And so the more reason why some people believe that January has 64 days because of that. Let me just get your first reaction towards that, coming from a financial perspective.
Yes, I think January is obvious, and it's strange that people complain about January because that's when people have a lot of money. Coming from December, where people receive gratuities, they receive leave days, bonuses, and all sorts of things. So I think the January complaint has been on the side of a lot of people who are ill-disciplined financially, but because just a month ago, December, you had received your 13th check, you had received your leave days, your gratuity, and all sorts of bonuses, your salary. So it's the best opportunity to have money and invest the money. But unfortunately, our culture is that we blow the money in December in the name of celebrating for the new year. And because of that, people have been, complaining, not having enough money, they are broke. But if we can develop a culture of not living for the tyranny of now, looking at tomorrow, what would tomorrow be like if I spend this money today? Do I have the financial capacity to handle tomorrow's financial challenges? So if we can have our people sensitized in that regard, I think January is not as bad people say it is. Partly because people have got money in December and just a few days later they are broke because of dancing and short-term enjoyment. So if you can change the mindset, I don't think January is a problem. As a financial person, I disagree when people say January is bad. It's people that misuse the money and then they say January is bad. January has got nothing to do with you. It is you who is spending the money in December because you're excited. Those are people. Most of those who are financially disciplined have the money right now and they are investing and they are doing great things. They're not complaining. Yes, so I don't think January is bad. I think it's just the people's mindset. They spend more money in December, hence the problem in January.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. With that understanding, let's get into our conversation. Of course, saving under economic pressures, the crisis pertaining to the salary and the division that is supposed to be made to say this is priority. I need to pay my rentals. I need to do this. I need to do that. Before we can appreciate more of how it is important and how best we can save under tight economic challenges, I want to hear from you, having a diverse understanding of economic issues. Is there something as hand to mouth? As
Yes.
the money is too little, then I cannot do anything. So in hand to mouth, chabe.
Yes, there are people that are living in the mushroom cycle right now. If you look at the way the mushroom lives this life, it only grows to come and die. And that's the mentality for some people, unfortunately. They make money only to be spent. They can't save anything. And some of the reasons is partly because if you look at the economic pressure that we have, some people are unable to save because the salary is not enough. They don't have a source of income that can enable them to save. And then there are people who have the economic, financial muscle to save, but they can't save because they are, careless spenders. So yes, there is such a thing of hand to mouth. But the thing is that what is making you have that hand to mouth problem? What is making you have that hand to mouth? It could be because you have weak financial controls, you spend too much, or it could be because you don't have enough financial, muscle to be able to save something. So saving is not easy. This is why when we say saving amid economic challenges, it's important for us to first of all establish what is an economic crisis. So once our people understand what a crisis is, maybe they may appreciate what saving means. If you look at last year in October and September, we saw the World Bank together with the IMF, they issued statements stating clearly that the global recession is imminent in 2023. And now that poses an economic, problem for all of us. A global recession, for our friends who want to understand, it simply means a period where the economy literally shuts down worldwide, implying that there will be less money. Companies and business owners will make less money. Now, less money means there's going to be a lot of retrenchments. People will be laid off. There will be no, good pays. So that means people are going to have, they're going to lose their jobs because there's no money. Companies can't make more money, but also banks and other financial institutions will raise their interest on borrowing. But even worse, we are expecting to see a rise in inflation rates. So that's a problem. That's a crisis. So when we say economic crisis, we talk about all these factors that are likely to affect directly the individuals, those that are in employment, those that are in business. So all of us, no one is spared. So understanding the economic crisis we're in right now, if you look at 2 days ago, the IMF issued a statement stating that the UK economy is going to shrink by about 0.6%. Now that's a huge percentage for a big economy. The UK is one of the big world economies. If that economy begins to shrink, it means smaller economies like ours will depend on those people. For example, it depends on Japan, the US, the UK, China, all those big economies. Once they begin to shrink, they have adverse effects on us here in Africa because we depend on those. Look at the things we manufacture. How many things do we manufacture here? If those people tighten up their spending habits, we feel the heat here. If Japan coughs today, the world is going to cough because Japan has bonds in almost every government. So we depend on those big economies. And the fact that now the IMF and the World Bank issued a statement stating that the global recession is imminent, we're likely to see reduction in jobs, salaries. People are going to be laid off. Banks are going to increase their interest rates on borrowing. Inflation is going to rise. Money will not be able to buy the same things we have bought last year. Now, because of all these economic pressures, this is why we say, how do you now save amid this economic crisis? Because we're in a crisis right now, Thomas. If you think about it, it's difficult to make money right now. Even if you have the money, it's hard to hold on to money right now. So now, how do you save the money?
That statement, you say it is difficult to make the money right now.
Yes.
And it is very hard to actually
hold on to money. Yes.
Which you've hardly worked for.
Yes, it's very hard because now what we have, inflation. For example, in our country, we're at a single digit. But if you look at the way inflation works, inflation is simply the rate at which money loses its buying power. Now, the problem that we have is that we have a single digit inflation, but the problem is that the money still has no buying power. It has lost its buying power. So it's very strange to see we are working with a single digit inflation, but the money is still having a very low purchasing power. So now, when we talk about economic crisis, these are some of the factors our people should think about. What would happen to me if I lost my job? What would happen to me if my business just goes down because there's nobody to buy my products? People are going to lose jobs amid this crisis. And that's the reason why we say, can we now talk about how do we save the little monies that we have?
It is good that you actually given examples that are very much closer and to to us. You say people are going to lose jobs right now. People already lost their jobs due to the rotating schedule, load management, as this could rightly put it. Others in industries were laid off because of industries being rotated 18 through to 06 the following day, and they're out of employment. Of course, that comes with so many effects unto themselves, and the trickle down effect it is on the family now that they are unable to surely afford to have a decent meal. JCTR estimates that the cost of living it is above 8,500 as we speak right about now. Shipping that into conversation, just not so long ago, a day ago, we got an announcement from the Energy Regulation Board with regards to the fuel pump prices. That now we'll be getting ourselves a petrol at 27 kwacha, 73 ngwe, if I'm not really mistaken.
Yes.
Amongst the many issues that I would want to chip in, there's an interesting comment on your Facebook page, one stating that people are now waiting for bills. Is it relevant for us to start saving owing to the fact that we have a whole lot of pressures to look at?
Yes. So what's happening that if you look at all these international crises, for example, we talk about the global crisis, which is looming, and we've been told that we're likely to survive the first quarter of the year, but the second quarter we don't know what's going to happen because the chance of us entering into a recession are quite very high. And just a day ago or so, we saw the ERB announcing that increment on fuel. Now, fuel is a very important commodity. Fuel drives the economy. So once the fuel goes up, a lot of important commodities and goods and services are going to go up as well. That means the money that we have right now will not be able to buy the same things we have bought yesterday. Now, when you talk about saving, now there are three proven ways of saving. Now, we can give people different ways of saving, but in my opinion, as a financial person, the best way of saving money is change of habit. That's the only way one can save money. For example, I'm going to give you the three ways, and then we are going to relate these ways to the change of habit. Right now, the economy looks very bad going forward. All right. So there are three ways somebody can save money as at now. One way is by you making more money so that you can save some money. Now, there are situations where somebody is unable to make more money. So how do they save the money? They need to spend less money for them to save some money. And the third way is for you to do both. But the biggest question here is, how do you save the money if you do not have it? So in the first place, what we need is to make the money, and then we can talk about saving the money. Because you cannot save what you do not have. That's what the problem is.
I hear that we are good with regards to making financial decisions or plan. We have brilliant ideas in the period that we are super broke. So maybe that's the reason why people would want to plan on saving when they do not have money.
Yes, I think planning is okay, but the problem is we cannot save what we do not have. So if you're going to talk about saving money, first of all, let's talk about where are you going to get the money that you want to save, so that you can come up with a plan of making more money, and then you can save some money. Now, I'm going to give you a few practical examples for the person at the household level to start with. At the household level, there are some practical ways somebody can save the money, and we call this one to downgrade. If you live in a house, for example, where you're paying 5,000 kwacha, and now you've noticed that the economy is not very, very well right now, the globalization is looming, the fuel price is going up, which means other things are going to go up as well. So how do you save a bit of the money that you have? If you cannot make more money, at least downgrade so that you can save some money. If you live in a 5,000 kwacha house, can you move into a 3,000 kwacha house? That 2,000 you're going to save will make a big difference. But if you keep people, for example, you keep 5, 4, 6 people, there are people who are keeping a lot of people right now, and some of those people they are keeping have parents and have people can keep them. Why don't you downgrade, offload some of the people you're keeping if they have where to go? Because you find somebody's keeping people and they have parents who are capable of keeping them. So why don't you offload and tell, you know what, at the moment things are bad, can you please take care of your children? It's okay because you're trying to survive. You want to save some money for yourself because you don't know what tomorrow brings. That's another way. The third way you can save money at the household level is just simply, paying attention to little things such as relish in a home. Right now, we have people cooking 4, 5 different types of relish in homes. And they don't even eat all of them. They'll just eat maybe 2, the other just go to waste. So how about making a little timetable for how you're going to be cooking a dish? Say, okay, fine, Monday we're going to take fish, Tuesday carpenter, Wednesday, of course, meat, whatever it is, Saturday beans. That little timetable may seem to be simple and traditional, but it can help you save on a lot of money, because people right now, they spend a lot of money on food more than they spend on rentals, because they cook a lot of food which they don't even need. All right. So cooking only what you need according to your timetable can help you save you a lot of financial stress. But even that, we have parents who say, you know what, I suffered a lot growing up. I can't see my children suffer. My children need to eat well. I want to provide for my, which is a good thing. Every parent wants to provide for their children. But hey, don't spoil your children because you want to make them happy. Some parents right now are financially stressed because they have kids who eat like mad kids. They can go into the freezer, get anything they like at any time. They bought a container of juice, can just finish in a day or two. They are done. The mom or the dad is stressing to find those monies. They cook a lot of potatoes for these kids when going to school, unnecessary packing, mix up of eggs, whatever it is. Kids pack a lot of food when going to school. And the parents are stressed. Can you downgrade? Tell your kids, teach them manners when it comes to food, to appreciate the value of food. Don't misuse juice. Only drink when it's necessary. If they are going to school, you pack, the potatoes, their eggs, their juice, and then there are all these, bread, whatever it is. Can you eat juice? Just pack what is necessary for a little boy or a little girl to eat over lunch. It's not a competition with other kids where they come from. Don't compete. All right. Now, sometimes kids can be very manipulative. They can tell you, Mommy, I'm always eating eggs. My friend comes with meat. So you feel bad, you begin to buy more meat, more sausage. Can you just teach? If you teach your kids to respect food and to value food, kids follow suit. They won't be giving a lot of pressure, because if you're buying a lot of sausage, potatoes for chips, you're buying a lot of eggs to just make those sandwich and stuff like that every single day, you are stressing yourself for nothing. It's not right. So at a household level, these few things can be able to work. And I usually ask parents, I say, you know what? Yes, it's okay, you want to make your children comfortable, but it's not okay to make your kids comfortable only today. What's okay is to make them comfortable in the long run. So if you keep spending all your money on food to impress your children, what are you going to spend on them when they want to go to college? Do you think about saving for them for the future? Do you think about opening an account for your child's school or something like that? Even just simple Airtel Patumba, do you put 100 on a daily basis for your son, for your daughter? Have you seen? So at a household level, that's why we have a problem, because a lot of people are spending so much on food. And if we can reduce the uptake of food in homes, we can save money. If you compare to the rent of people pay in a month and the food that people use in a month, food is more than the rentals. Partly because some people have unnecessary responsibilities. They've kept a lot of people. They cook shim as if it's at a funeral. They have kids who are uncontrollable. So the moment you begin to put internal controls with food, all right, and also just accepting that you can't keep everyone in the family, even though you have a job. Let some people go where they can be kept. That can help you to save some money. But even most importantly, for people that are in a family setup, I think what can help them to save money is transparency between husband and wife.
Okay.
Now,
what defines transparency in that context?
Now, transparency simply means that when you have money, your wife should know you have the money. Okay. When you have the money, your husband should know you have the money. Do you know what that means? That is going to force you to become more responsible with how you use your money. All right. At a household level, people can just wake up one day.
Men listening to this show right about we are in the women's
Do you know what happens at the household level? What's going to happen? That you find that the husband has a side hustle. Now, when you look at the side hustles that people have, if a husband is making money which is private and the wife does not know, you know what he can do? He can simply wake up one day and go to watch football with his friends and then just buy alcohol for his friends because nobody knows he has this money. So the moment husband and wife at the household begin to embrace financial transparency, it is transparency that is going to instill a sense of responsibility in you, because you know this money that you have, somebody at home knows you have it. All right. But also, I usually encourage husbands to look at money as family money. The moment you begin to look at your own money as family money, it helps to be more responsible how you use your money. Because now you know whatever money you make is family money. When you are a married person, You are no longer you. You can't behave like a bachelor. All right. Whatever coin you make, look at it as family money. That helps to be disciplined, but also to share with your wife. Now, once there's transparency, what happens? Even your wife will fall in line. Because sometimes wives will begin to use stuff thinking that you're a MacGyver. One day you pop and you sort out problem. But if you tell her, Mommy, we have this amount of money, and what do we do with the money? You plan as a family for the food, you plan for the kids' food, you plan for rentals, you plan if you need to downgrade from an expensive house to a cheaper one, you plan as a team. It works, but also it improves the chains of love between husband and wife. Because now the wife exactly knows how much you have. The husband also exactly knows how much the wife has. And together can even save something to buy a land because you're working as a team. The moment you begin to work in isolation, you're going to have husbands who look very well, but their wives look like the ones that have shifted. And if you can see, you're going to see some wives look expensive, but the husband look like they're about to die. Do you know why? Because there's no communication. The wife has got some money somewhere, she's spending on herself, beautifying herself. The husband looks as just about to die, this man. Look at the husband also has some money somewhere. The wife does not know. So it's like there's no financial communication. And because of that, there's a lot of stress, all right? And unnecessary expenses being incurred. But if you discuss as a family, there's transparency. Transparency helps to save money. It's one of the most proven ways of saving money among married people. Financial transparency is key. It doesn't matter what people say. People have praised, a lot of sexual compatibility. They've praised a lot of. The world has focused so much on sexual issues. They are neglecting the most important thing that can help families save the money for investing and also for the future use. There's no such thing as compatibility. Did you know that? Compatibility is a word which was introduced by, divorce attorneys. To let you feel good about yourself when you're about to divorce somebody. So you're not compatible. There's no such thing as compatible. You can't be compatible with somebody you've never lived with your entire life. It doesn't work like that. It's a decision that you make to stay with somebody, and then you make that decision every single day to work together as a team. So the moment we stop working together, you begin to think that, you know what, we are not compatible. No, there's no such thing as we are not compatible. All right? It's a decision you have to make. So now, because some people tend to be selfish, they have the money to themselves, they can share with their husband, they can share with their wives, they fail to save. 5 years down the line, married couples have nothing to their names. Nothing, no land, nothing. They're just people living just like strangers in a home.
All right. Let's speak to the youth culture now. I know for a fact that relationships amongst the youth, it is something that is surely widely seen and widely known that many young people are in relationships as of now. And there's something I saw on social media. It was a video where some woman was talking about advising men that as of now, you should be very careful with the person you are dating. Once they discover that you have money and they give you a whole bunch of a list of things that they would love to do with your money, then that should be an indication enough for you to know that you are with the wrong person. And it went on to even speak about the abrupt budgets that do pop in when you just disclose unto your partner that you have a bit of money, or maybe you are waiting for money from somewhere and you receive the money in the presence of your partner. Then just there and then a budget pops up from your partner that we should do this, we should do A, B, C, and D. Such kind of people, you should refrain from them. And I want you to speak at this also, since you've talked about the marriage setup. And I feel it should also trickle down to relationships in that young people are also glued onto the program.
Yes. And if you talk about relationships and financial transparency, in the first place, I want to say, stop dating confused people. Stop dating confused people. Sometimes you put yourselves in a lot of problems because you don't have a good choice of who to be with. People are dating, because somebody looks nice. They don't take time to get to know pictures. All right. People are marrying other people for pictures. So in the first place, can we sober up and stop dating for pictures?
Okay.
Let's date substance. Let's look at substance in people before we can even introduce them to our families. Now, when it comes to relationships, it will interest you to know that financial transparency and financial problems are among the top 3 reasons worldwide why people divorce. And because this is such a very important issue, I strongly believe, and I'm of the view that financial talk should begin just when you're starting a relationship.
Mhm.
The problem that we have in our country and in our African setup, we label women who ask us about money as gold diggers. When a lady comes to you and she asks you how much you get paid, what's your budget? How much do you pay rent? How much have you saved? Can I see your savings? You look at her as a gold digger. She wants to chew my money. No. If you meet somebody who's asking you about your financial life, all right, it's a good thing because they need to know how much you make money. Even you can ask your fiance if you have one or a lady you are saying, how much do you make in a month? How do you spend your money? All right. How long have you been in employment? Do you have any savings? Can I look at your savings? How much do you have in your savings? Do you know why you want to know that? You want to know somebody's money habits before you can get into a relationship with them, a serious relationship with them. Because if you don't handle money before you become serious, you're going to be having problems. This is why you have people, a simple 500 kwacha, a simple 100 kwacha, you label someone a gold digger, somebody who loves money, because you've not discussed money openly. So it's okay for people in relationship to begin to talk about money. Ask the serious questions. The problem we have right now, Thomas, is that we have people focusing more on what they call sexual compatibility. No, you have to be sexually compatible. That's a myth. There's no such thing as sexual compatibility. It's just the mind, all right? You feel good about this person, you don't about this person. It's just your own mind. It's a decision you keep making every single day. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. You get excited when you look at this person, you don't at this person. But you have to make a decision, all right? So talking about finances in a relationship, all right, is a good thing because it's going to help you align your financial goals together. How much do you want to be saving in a month from your salary? How much do you want to be investing in a month from your salary? How much do you want to be spending on your parents? How much to spend on food? So together as a team, you can begin to see whether you have similar financial goals and see how you can meet a common ground as a team. So don't shy away from talking about money in a relationship. It's extremely important because people divorce because of money problems every single day. Right now, somebody's in a divorce court as we speak because of money problems. So if you ignore money problems, you focus on what they call sexual compatibility, you won't eat sex. You need the money. You need food. You need to pay bills. You need rental. So let's focus on what matters before you enter a relationship. Even after you have your enjoyment, you're going to need money to buy food to sustain your appetite. So why are people focusing more on sexual issues? They are neglecting what is very much important. And I always advise people that I mentor in my class, you know what? No amount of prolonged sexual activities is going to make your wife appreciate you more. Your woman can tolerate your sexual deficiencies, but she can never tolerate living in a home without food, with children who can't go to school. Your wife will tolerate all these things, but she won't tolerate living in a home without food. So focus on what matters. What matters is you focusing on God as a man. Focus on making money. Focus on maintaining the money. Focus on multiplying the money. No woman is going to trouble you about your sexual deficiencies because she's well covered. All right. So this thing of amplifying a lot of sexual issues has led people failing to save. They're spending more on lodges, spending more on what is this thing people drink, this stuff, So because of this mentality we have, people have lost out on track on things that can help them in the future. So saving amid this crisis requires that you are a sober person, you sober up, and then you set proper priorities at a personal level, at a family level, and at a business level.
All right. I'm loving every bit of this conversation, but unfortunately, we're supposed to be wrapping up. Getting back to our topic, quickly as the tips in bullet point form, how best do we begin to restructure our lives so that we can start saving amid financial pressures? Of course, there is admission that has been made of your Facebook page. People acknowledging the fact that, it is kind of difficult to save under economic pressures, under a crisis, but how best do we begin to align ourselves to the financial goals that would definitely help us save?
Change of behavior. That's the greatest. I think anybody who wants to save amid this economic crisis that we are into, like we talked about global recession, all right? We've talked about the Zambian economy, which is shrinking. The kwacha has been receiving a beating every day from the dollar, all right? Inflation will keep rising very soon. So the only way you save money, the best we advise is to change your behavior, to acknowledge your financial situation, and then begin to downgrade. Like I said, there are 3 ways you can save money. Make more money so that you can save some money. or spend less money so you can save some money, do both. So if you're at a household level, like I said, make a timetable for your food. That's easy. Make a timetable for food and only cook what you can be able to eat and finish. All right. Don't keep too many people if you can't afford. All right. Don't spend on non-essential things. That's also very important. Don't be a Father Christmas. All right. So you have to know direct and indirect responsibilities. Focus on the direct responsibilities. Leave the indirects for now. Partly because saving money is very hard in this economy. But what can help you is change of behavior and awareness. Where are you right now and where do you want to be, so that you can set committed financial goals? And you have the KPIs to see your progress. So find somebody, a mentor, somebody reliable, somebody already succeeding at doing that, so they can show you how they've succeeded in saving their monies. So change of behavior is key for saving money. No matter what we say to somebody, can you do this? It will never work if they don't change their money behaviors. It's all about money behaviors. Once you change your money behaviors, you begin to commit, you begin to accept your financial situation, and then you say, you know what, I think I'm going to downgrade. Then what people are going to say about me, I'm going to shift into a cheaper house. I'm going to make a timetable for food. I'm going to avoid unnecessary spending. I'm going to only buy something when I think about it up for 24 hours. So it's what we advise people. Before you pay for something, go home and think about it for 24 hours. If you still need to have the 24 hours, then you can pay for it. Because sometimes you have this thing of you want to buy something, but you don't really need it. So can you go home, think about it for 24 hours? Then if you still need it, then you can buy. And I say, set an amount. Say, I won't pay for anything above 10,000 kwacha up until I think about it for 24 hours. That also can really help. So it's all about change of behavior. It will help you to save. And we've talked about financial transparency and also be able to be accountable to yourself and to your spouse. If at all you are married, you have a relationship, be accountable somehow. If you're not accountable, you'll not save money because you're going to be entitled. It's my money, I made it, so what? I spend it whichever way I feel like doing it. But if you're accountable somehow to somebody or to yourself, it will help you to save the money amid this economic crisis. Don't piss off your boss if you're in employment. You don't want to lose your job at the end of the day. You want to be in good books with your boss. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Lusamba, I would love to appreciate your time here, but before I let you go, kindly give us your socials with regards to how people can continue tapping into your white knowledge base on financial issues.
So my Facebook page is Shadwick Chartered Accountant. So those who want to connect with us, they can simply search us on Facebook under Shadwick Chartered Accountant, and that will be it. They'll find everything there. They can even call us on the numbers are there on our Facebook page. So emails are there, everything is there. Just Shadwick Chartered Accountant. Yes.
Good looking out to Mr. John Matutu on Facebook. Good looking out to Perina Mutinta Kalunga. Good looking out to Chisi Kwangu and Ms. Kayombo, who has been also active in giving us notes. Good looking out to Mukuka, Vigorous, and many who have dropped their comments on Facebook in line with our conversation for today. Appreciate your viewership and, of course, the comments you've surely shared, the important ones. Charles M. Ngosa shared a bit of tips with how best you can begin saving, and he says that this is really helpful. Good enough to you, Mr. Ngosa, Madam Constance Vengi. But of course, we appreciate you doing the needful and following the program. To missed, go to Facebook, search for Shadwick Chartered Accountant, and you'll find the video to our conversation right here on Live Radio 97.3 FM. We do this every Thursday, 15:32 to 16. We have various financial experts who come in to help us enrich ourselves in the space of understanding finances. And today we had with us financial analyst as well as chartered accountant in Shadrach Lusambo, featuring on today's edition of Business Today. Hopefully this is not your last time coming to you.
I'm looking forward to the next time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next time. I'm very grateful for this invitation, and I look forward to more invitations such as this one.
Right.
Thank you very much.
One highlight is that don't date confused people. I don't know who is confused, but of course it is the month of love, and maybe you might want to assess the love within which you are receiving as to whether it is coming from a confused patient or not.
Month of love. Get into the love zone on live radio.